Hey everyone, and welcome back to Civics Review. Today we're going to go over how you get to the Supreme Court and know more about them, so that we can look at the impact of select Supreme Court cases. Well, let's get to it. The standard in today's video is to analyze the significance and outcomes of landmark Supreme Court cases. But before we can do that, our objectives in this video are to review how to get to the Supreme Court, review the court system, what is a writ of cert and the rule of 4, and understand how precedent impacts everyone in America. The Supreme Court of the U.S. is the highest court in the country. The cases they look at will have an enormous impact on the rights of every citizen in America. Now, the reason for this is they're the Supreme Court. There is no higher authority to appeal to or overrule their judgment. Not even the President of the United States of America or Congress can overturn the Supreme Court opinion or try and make them change their mind.
That's all, folks.
We call this independent judiciary. You see, the framers of the Constitution didn't want any outside pressure or interference on the Supreme Court so that they could do their thing. It means no elections, no campaigning, no donations from outside groups, no fear of losing their jobs, no term limits to how long they can be a Supreme Court justice, no meddling from the other branches. They exist on an island, rule on cases, and sometimes play games of pickup basketball in their basketball court located in the roof of the Supreme Court building. But getting your case to the Supreme Court isn't so easy. For starters, we never begin at the Supreme Court. They're primarily an appellate's court. For the overwhelming majority of cases, original jurisdiction, or the authority to hear a case for the first time, starts in the lower trial courts. In the lower courts, you present evidence, call witnesses, speak to the jury, and scream, "You can't handle the truth!" The jury provides the verdict, and the judge issues the sentencing. Now, if you suspect something went wrong in your trial, you can appeal to a higher court. Appellate courts are not trial courts. That's why the names are different. There is no jury, no witnesses, no evidence. Only a group of judges, called a bench trial, are going to review your case for errors. Was there something wrong with the proceedings of the legal case? Was evidence used against you which should not have been considered? Was there evidence in your trial court that the judge did not allow you to use to defend yourself? These are things the appellate court is going to look at. Now, if you still feel as though an error in your case has been overlooked, you can appeal again until there is no higher court except the Supreme Court. But because we hear boss music, we're going to have to do one more thing. We're going to have to file a writ of certiorari, which we're going to just shorten to writ of cert. We need to do this in order to be heard by the Supreme Court. If we don't do this, they're not going to hear our case. And after we do this, we got to keep our fingers crossed. Out of the 8,000 or so petitions they get every year, only about 80 of the cases are actually going to be heard, or 1% of the cases. This isn't because they just don't care, it's for a reason. So let's talk about the rule of 4. In order for a case to be selected, 4 of the 9 Supreme Court justices have to agree to hear it. Now, I always explain it to my students like this. If you were issued 8,000 homework assignments as a class, and you looked at each assignment individually and all voted, and 4 students wanted to do any of them, what percent of assignments would you actually do? 0%? Is there a percent that is less than 0? The judges of the Supreme Court are looking for something very particular, which is why oftentimes less than 4 judges will vote to hear a case. This doesn't mean they don't believe in your case or they don't agree with your case. It just means it's not what they're looking for. So what is the Supreme Court looking for? Cases that matter. Cases of a national importance. Cases where they can set the record straight and ensure and guarantee the rights of citizens or limit them. Remember, when they rule on a case, it has an impact on every person in America, and the lower courts have to follow the rulings of the Supreme Court. So here's why it's a big deal. Say your school censors your free speech as a student at that school. Maybe you were writing some Instagram post on your phone. Maybe you were typing something up for the school news article or for the real local newspaper. And the school decided, we're going to shut you down. Well, you could argue, I've lost my rights to free speech or my right to freedom of the press. I'm taking this bad boy to the Supreme Court. Now we learn we don't start there, but once you eventually do get to the Supreme Court, they're going to look and say, do you have a right? If you do have a right, everyone celebrates because all students, including these guys, get the same rights you do, which is whatever free speech issue that got shut down at school was. Now, if they say you don't have a right, everybody's sad because they also do not have this right. The lower courts will follow the Supreme Court's ruling on this rights issue. Now that we know all this stuff, here's what we're going to be doing with it. Okay guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for sticking to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. We'll make more videos soon.